So here is Theresa May speaking as a Remainer Home Secretary in 2016 about why it is imperative the UK leaves the European Convention on Human Rights, known as ECHR, regardless of the Brexit referendum result. Watch.
The ECHR can bind the hands of Parliament, adds nothing to our prosperity, makes us less secure by preventing the deportation of dangerous foreign nationals, and does nothing to change the attitudes of governments like Russia's when it comes to human rights. So regardless of the EU referendum, my view is this: if we want to reform human rights laws in this country, it isn't the EU we should leave, but the ECHR.
Well, here we are, 6 years later, still a member of the ECHR, still unable to protect our borders. And now our southern border, as you know, is subject to what the Home Secretary, Superwoman Suella Braverman, calls an invasion, with 42,000 and counting arriving illegally via small boats on the Channel this year alone. With the disgusting people smuggling gangs emboldened by our light touch approach, by next year we could be into the six figures. Meanwhile, Albanian economic migrants are manipulating May's modern slavery legislation. This isn't what any of us voted for when we left the EU. That decision was about taking back control. I believe Braverman is the only senior government minister who knows much of this discussion is futile until we're out of the ECHR and able to implement sensible and humane plans like the Rwanda scheme or another offshore processing location, which is held up because of lefty lawyers.
Seen firsthand that we can't fix the problem of illegal migration because of human rights claims and because of an interventionist, politicised foreign court in Strasbourg, which is intervening to thwart our domestic policies, as we saw last month on the Rwanda flight. And I'm afraid the only solution to this problem, and if we want to be honest with the British people, on delivering on Brexit, on taking back control over our borders, is that we do now need to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. I've pledged that, and I challenge all my fellow candidates to make that similar pledge. None of them have.
Instead, we have Rishi Sunak talking a good talk, but putting his faith in his new BFF, fellow globalist Emmanuel Macron, which I have to be honest makes me want to scream. The new £64 million deal with France won't even enable illegal migrants to be deported back there. Earlier today, in Bali, our political editor Darren McCaffrey pushed the new PM hard at the G20 summit, but got the usual rhetoric without a hard and fast plan. And actually, what really interested me is that Sunak refused to discuss Braverman's desire for legal migration to be reduced into the tens of thousands.
The deal with the French this week is the first in a series of things that we'll need to do, but people should rest assured that this is a huge priority for me. It's taking up rightly a good chunk of my time because I want to grip it, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to fix this problem.
The Home Secretary thinks it should be done to tens of thousands. Your Home Secretary thinks it should be done to tens of thousands. Do you think it should be done? Legal migration?
The government's policy and my policy is that we will want to reduce net migration over time, but I don't want
to... 250,000 at the moment?
Well, I'm not going to put an arbitrary number on it because I want to be honest with people, and I think right now our number one challenge is getting a grip of the number of illegal migrants coming, and that's the thing I want to focus on first. I think that's what...
Why not put a number on it? I mean, I think Sunak is misunderstanding where the British public are on the need to control migration, including legal migration, and harden our borders. It's only leaving the ECHR and dramatically overhauling our human rights and modern slavery laws so they cannot be exploited by economic migrants backed up by lefty lawyers that will give us a real shot at stopping the boats. The new PM faces oblivion at the next election unless he takes immediate and dramatic action.